discussion. I'm your host for today, and I'm Omotayo Omotola, the media officer for the Land. And I have with me
Kozim Kula, legal officer.
Thank you, Kozim. And the gentleman right here.
And you have Elvis Tokuma, the project officer for Lawyers for Life.
Okay, thank you for joining us in today's discussion. Insecurity is the most daunting challenge facing Nigeria right now. The raging insurgency that was formerly limited to the northeast has now transformed into kidnapping, cultism, banditry, and some other assorted crimes, which is now being witnessed all over Nigeria. Even though so much effort has been put to control or to end these challenges, as it is now, insecurity in Nigeria has assumed an alarming direction. Right now, regions has been coming up with different security networks. Recently, the Southwest came up with Amotekun, and the Southeast inaugurated the Ebubia Road. Even though the attacks still continue, Gozim, would you say these steps by this region is as a result of loss of confidence in the nation's security apparatus?
Well, loss of confidence is one of it, and another thing is that Nigeria has got to a stage in issues of security where even the conventional or traditional security outfit, that is the one recognized by the constitution, that's the police, they have now been overstretched. Their capacity bands have been really overstretched that they can't even really do so much anymore. And so I can actually say that the formation of these new security outfits is not just on the part of losing confidence in the police or any other security operatives or security outfits. Of course, the ones backed up legally, but also as a result of the overstretching of police and other security outfits in terms of capacity and capabilities, which has arisen or which is occurring as a result of several factors. Factors such as such as the fact that police officers for one are not being trained. So even in terms of budgeting, when there is like yearly when we do budgeting for how Nigeria is going to make expenditures and all that, there is actually for police funds and all that, there's actually no allocated funds for training, no allocated funds for equipment, ammunition, weapons for these people to actually quell situations, security issues if need be. So it's just a compilation of a whole lot of things that goes beyond the loss of confidence by community members.
Thank you, Gote. From the look of things, the issue of insecurity in Nigeria has now been politicized. It's as if there is more to it than meets the eye. In fact, some people said it has now turned to a money-making venture. Elvis, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, let me first also add to what my colleague has already said. Security is a very great challenge right now in Nigeria. And security affects everybody. And, some of us may not know, but Nigerian police, as a law enforcement institution, is poorly funded. And they are under-equipped. In a local government, you understand that there are 7 police officers in a local government. How possible can they tackle the issues of insecurity? Community policing is another issue. So we feel these are some of the gaps that are lacking, that this security is gaining momentum in our country, Nigeria. And they come back to whether security has been politicized or not. Of course, I will definitely say there are a lot of forces behind insecurity in the country, whether we accept it or not. And we have seen leaders who are supposed to come out to support security personnel coming out with statements that would rather compromise insecurity in the country. We have only one country, Nigeria. So if you see persons who are supposed to support security personnel coming out to make statements that undermine security, then you will have no option than to maybe accept that security has been politicized. It is very, very unfortunate. We don't have any other country, we just have just one country, Nigeria. And most of the time when these things happen, we always, some of us, our heart goes with the vulnerable people, women, children, persons with disabilities. You know, so if you ask me whether security has been politicized, of course, I would say to some extent. Because we've seen persons, just as I said earlier, persons who are supposed, you know, there's a person we call key influencer, persons that are words that persons look up to, political leaders and religious leaders, traditional leaders. If you have these persons coming out to say, I support this group that is coming out against the state, then I will agree with you to some extent that security in this country has been politicized to some extent.
Thank you for pointing out those. Still on the security networks. Ellen, do you think there is any legal backing for these networks? And would you say they have been effective in the view of their delivering their tasks?
Okay, well, the much we know is that the West and the South, the southern parts aside the fact that we know that some states have some form of security outfits that may be tied to religion. But in the circumstance, we have Amotekun for the West, and in the South, like the southeastern governors came up to put together OB, Ebugago. So I know that for Amotekun, some of the Western states have legalized, have got legal backings for theirs, some of them. And Ebugago, the last I read on the internet, the southeastern governors were still asking for there to be legal backing for their own Ebugago. And I would think that it is necessary, it's something that should happen for these outfits to have legal backings. Because, you know, the Constitution actually makes it pronounced and makes it undeniable for the police that we know, which is a federal issue, to be decentralized. So the Constitution makes provision that there shall be only one police force, which shall be controlled at the federal. So it is a function of the federal. So any other thing in states that is different from the police, which is controlled and situated at the federal, is actually illegal. So as it is right now, for example, the Ebugago that has no legal backing, so one will begin to wonder, where are the funds coming from? Funds to train these people if they are actually being trained. Funds to train them, funds to provide them with ammunition. And you know, issue of ammunition and weapons are contained in the exclusive legislative list in the Constitution, which gives absolute powers for issues like that to the federal. So where a state is providing, because one of the governor of the state says they intend to make sure that their security outfit in Ebugago is well equipped to handle issues and try to protect the vigilante, because they also work with vigilante groups. So you will begin to wonder, where are the monies coming from? The federal would not, there are no budgetary sums for these people to be provided ammunition. So where are the ammunition coming from? Where are the funds coming from So in other words, we are just going about a circle of illegality. So, and if these people are not well equipped, what is the purpose? What? And I think it would only end up causing more harm. So, if the police is not decentralized and this we just keep coming out with several outfits, I think it would end up causing more harm than good, actually. So, legalizing these security outfits, I think is just the best for us. But in the alternative, which I think is the best, I just answered that based on what you asked me. So what I think is the best is just the amendment of the constitution to give room for decentralization of the police. Because even if we agree that, okay, no problem, let us amend, let us decentralize the police, the constitution will still be going against the constitution, which provides otherwise. So the first thing is to amend the constitution, then decentralize police, incorporate more people into the police force. I learned for a very long time now there has not been a massive recruitment. We are under police. So let these people who are interested and who are, who are qualified be brought into the police system. Let them be trained. Let there be good budgeting for training, ammunitions, and a whole lot of other things that definitely will be needed to combat insecurity in Nigeria. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you actually did. But let me ask you this. From where you stand now, what do you think is the biggest challenge when it comes to security in Nigeria?
The biggest challenge. Well, I'll still speak. I'll be coming from the legal angle.
Yes.
So I'll be speaking based on what the law provides. So I won't be speaking based on the Amotekun and all those other ones. So the biggest challenge in terms of security is there are a lot. First of all, the constitution is the government, that's the foundation, that's the basis. So we should start from there from amending the constitution. Then the second thing is, okay, I've been opportuned to actually sit with the former Inspector General of Police, and we spoke about security, insecurity, and he sent me a lot of his videos that on talks that he had when he was still in office and outside when he was outside office still. And I realized that police is underfunded, actually. So police is grossly underfunded, just like Elvis said. I think that should be addition to that fact. So they are underfunded. When police gives their budget for what they need in a particular year, these things are cut down and shredded into pieces. So what they are giving back to the police now to say this is what we have approved is what they call envelope budget or something. I think that's what they call it, envelope budget. So you from the sound, the name envelope budget, you know what it is like, envelope. Thanks for coming, budget. So and now when they are cutting down, the things that are cutting down are no training, no changing of equipment, no treatment, welfare of police. All these things psychologically affect the police officer. So even if a police officer gets enough bribe to take care of himself, he will still not be mentally stable. Knowing that there is only a little that his bribe can afford him, he cannot buy ammunition for himself with his bribe. So this is just quite a whole lot of things that we need to fix in terms of. I would also understand the fact that the community needs to also come into quelling the security challenges in Nigeria in terms of cooperating, because they have good knowledge of what is actually happening. The mother knows if the child of her neighbor is the person who works, but she may not want to talk because I don't trust the police officer. If I can't tell him, and this man here is me that said, I'll come back to meet, So these things it's a thing of trust. It's just a whole lot of issues that will not be able to exhaust in one sitting. So they're just a lot.
Thank you very much. Mr. Elvis, what do you think is the most challenging security issue?
Yes, just as my colleague Gozen has highlighted a lot of these challenges already, let me come from another angle.
Yeah.
And looking at the current security challenges right now facing Nigeria, I think community engagement is lacking. How well have we engaged with our communities? Policing is not only the responsibility of police officers or security personnel out there. That's why I love the idea when the government set up, come up with community policing. But how effective has community policing project been? You know, because just as we've been saying, police are not enough to police over 200 million Nigerians, and we have less than 400,000 police officers policing over 200 million Nigerians. It's not achievable. So we need to engage our communities. Community policing, I think we have not done very well in that angle.
So if I get it correctly, you're saying community policing
It's one of the one challenge. It's one among others.
With this that you've highlighted, what do you think is the way forward?
Yes, the way forward is going further. I think where we find ourselves right now, I will, in fact, just as I said earlier, security is everybody's responsibility. If the government or persons in charge, we provide and we come up with a platform where communities will start to engage, we start to give ideas to government, the government will start to implement those ideas like a dialogue. Like you can have a roundtable dialogue, engage with community leaders, religious leaders, youth organizations, so that everybody will come out with, let us engage with our communities. So for me, we strongly suggest community engagement is very, very important.
Okay, so I actually want to ask something, but unfortunately it's not, it just, as you were talking about government and all that,
Yeah.
so I just, something just came up in my head, and it has to buttress a point that you made when we were talking about the fact that security has been politicized,
Yes.
money-making venture,
Yeah.
and I just thought I should add, just like you said, it has been politicized and it has become a money-making venture. Because first of all, when we are still talking about this decentralization of police, you would see that the reason the government is hell-bent on not decentralizing the police is just for a selfish reason. Because this whole decentralizing, not decentralizing, and all that is an aftermath, is a result that has come from is an aftermath of the Civil War. So because of, we know what happened before the Civil War and all that. So we know that as long as we remember and we know that there has been this struggle to not let people stay apart, So when states begin to decentralize the police, because security is like the basic thing every human being should have.
True.
And if you want to, speak about integrate the issue of law and security, you'll see that the basic thing human beings need, and first of all, for the creation of law, which is like a social contract.
Yeah.
So human beings now, a social contract between the government and the governed, that's between government and us now. So we have given the government the authority to take over us, and we surrender all our powers and everything to them. So all we ask of them is to protect us. And if they're not able to protect us, which is the most important thing, then they have failed entirely in everything they're supposed to do. So this, in terms of decentralizing, going back to the initial thing I was trying to say, decentralizing, if police is not decentralized, the fact that police is not decentralized is an issue that has to do with the fact that the government, some people do not want the marginalized people to go away because they still want to be in authority to control everything. So it is something that the police wants to, the federal now wants to keep being in charge of, doesn't want self-determination and resource control by state. So they want to keep being in charge. And in being in charge, which is the most important thing for them, they are spending, they do not care about the unwise decision and the result of their unwise decision, which makes them also spend more in terms of quelling these insurgencies. They spend billions of dollars trying to quell these insurgencies. And in spending these billions of dollars, these monies go out through tables, they go out through offices. So these offices that are taking charge of these monies going, it is a money-making venture for them. Because all they care about is their pockets, their self-thinking, their self-evaluation, whatever they may think of themselves. Instead of thinking the most paramount, which is the security, the protection of lives and property of the people who have handed over themselves to take in charge. Do you understand? I just thought I should add that in terms of acknowledging that it has become a political issue and a money-making venture. So
thank you for that.
Thank you for adding that. When you were speaking, I think we lost our video for your for our audience can still hear you very well. So I'm not sure they get the way forward to all these things from the legal perspective. Can you just summarize that for us?
Yeah, so from the legal perspective, the way forward is, like I said, let the foundation be fixed. That's the first thing. Because we cannot overemphasize the importance of decentralizing. It's actually an irony that in Nigeria that practices federalism, which means that states have autonomy, or of course controlled by the central. So it's a nation that is like this is against decentralization of police. It's an irony. It's a total contradiction of whatever Nigeria stands. So I think the first thing is change the constitution, amend the constitution, let police be decentralized, let these people be trained, let there be, because like I said, the most important thing government should do for its citizens is protection. Without protection, you're not eating, you're not going to do anything, you're not going to school. That's the most important thing. So let there be enough funding to train police officers, recruit more personnel. You can't overemphasize that.
Thank you so much, Ellen. In concluding, Mr. Evans, what do you have to say to vulnerable Nigerians out there?
The vulnerable.
Yes.
Anytime I hear the word vulnerable and I look at the security challenges.
Right now, everybody's vulnerable.
We're all vulnerable. We're all vulnerable, but we always look at our target group, women, children, persons with disabilities, among others. But honestly, my wealth or my contribution to the vulnerable group is that they should not lose hope, and we as individuals, as organizations, and as a nation, we are all working towards having a secure Nigeria where their rights will be protected, property and life will be protected. And for me, that's all I have to say. And let's hope everything goes accordingly.
I'm sure Gozim will have something to tell other Nigerians and the government too.
Okay, you mean Gozim will have something to tell the vulnerable Nigerians and the government?
Yes.
Well, like Elvis rightly said, all hope is not lost. Like I was in church today, sorry I have to mention church. So for those of you who are Muslims, I'm sure your imam would have told you the most, so I'm just mentioning mine. So I was in church today and yesterday evening, and our pastor said, don't lose hope, because even as you're losing hope, they're saying you're not able to do business, you're not able because of the insecurity, because that's the most paramount at the moment. You're not able to do this, you're going on. Meanwhile, some people are saying, Lord, this 2021 should not pass. This is my year of breakthrough. It is happening for me. So, and it's like, okay, even if this is not that year for you, just be rest assured that these same people that are saying, Lord, let this year not pass, they were once crying like you. So just know that things are going to be better. And even in this current, even though we are saying that we realize the present situation, things can still change, overhaul entirely in terms of when there is a new leadership, things can just change. So we shouldn't lose hope, and in our own little corners, we try to make sure we contribute to community security and all that, because like my colleague said, it's not the business of just the police. All of us have a lot to contribute. So I'm joining this with every other thing that I've said.
Okay.
And
you
sorry,
so
just
much.
to add one
Okay.
other thing. That's what has been on my mind.
Okay.
The issue of community policing. We attended a training last year and understand that government budgeted a lot of billion into community policing. But I think there is something the government didn't get it very right, but I feel they can do better. And the issue of making community policing a federal government thing, just as we're talking about having the Amotekun in the southwest, the communities should be the one to handle community policing issue, not the federal government. Yeah, because the federal government decide this is how I want the community policing to be in my community. And my community people feel that this strategy that the government adopted will not work for our community, the community policing will fail. So I feel communities should be responsible, they should be in charge of community policing, not at the federal government level. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your very, very, very good contributions. I really appreciate it. And thank you for joining us on today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers out there. We really appreciate you, and we would like you to drop your comments, your contributions about this topic that we are just finished discussing. So it's not going to stop here. We are still going to continue it. So always remember to stay safe out there. Protect yourself using all possible precautions, and of course you have to be prepared to be safe and pray. So be careful out there and pray. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.